As part of wrapping the year on the small business front, economics reporter Liabo Setho had a conversation with two entrepreneurs who detail the year that was and views on the business landscape. Zakhele Mgobozi, the founder of Modern Centric Holdings, a transformation and new development firm that empowers persons with disabilities, vulnerable women, youth, as well as the LGBTQIA+ community, has grown from one person to now more than 150 people. The founder of Chuck Chilli, Boikano Sikwane, has come full circle with her business from a pop-up market to now occupying shelves of one of the biggest retailers in the country.
Let's look at the foodpreneurship landscape. Boikano, chili is everywhere. Okay, I suppose it is one of the easiest way to get into foodpreneurship. What do you think is drawing people to start the whole chili market? Is it the low barriers to entry, or is it simply a matter of a palate?
So I think that there are a few things that make it an easy or an attractive food space to get into. One, as you say, it is cheap to start. I realized during lockdown in 2020 that part of our new competitors were literally people who were just making this for fun at home as a hobby, because they would just literally throw it in the blender, add whatever spice that you want, and then give it to your friends or family. They buy it. So it was an easy. It's easy in that way. But when it comes to actual formalities of a chili business, like what we have done with our business, then the market the access to market is similar to any other food product out there, because you have to still go through all the basics of compliance, things that you would not have to worry about, obviously, when you're making 10 jars for your friends and family at home. We have to look at the expenditure that is required to then keep that product on the market. We have to look at having staff. We have to look at automation, rent, and all of those things. So yes, as a hobby, it's very easy to enter that space. But then if you're going to create a business out of it, then you have to, go through everything that all other foodpreneurs go through.
But also on the shelf itself is not an easy journey, because while we encourage entrepreneurs to go list at a big retailer, there's a lot of money that's needed there to stay there, to compete for shelf space. What has your journey been like?
So it's been a lot of school fees paid, a lot of lessons learned. It's very exciting when you get a big retailer to say, we're excited, we love your product, we think it will sell, and then they place a big order for you, and then you have it on the shelf. But then how do you ensure that it moves from the shelf when it is national, when the retailers have presence in Cape Town, in KZN, in PE, and you are just a two-man band based in Gauteng? Ensuring that those guys who have never heard of your product in Cape Town, get to taste the product and all of that. So we had to learn a lot about collaborating with people outside of us, people that we don't know, to help us merchandise on that side, to help us with in-store promotions on that side. That's all money that you have to spend on ensuring that that product moves from the shelves, and to understanding the contract, that retail contract that you sign. What is a rebate, what is warehousing, what is this, all the invoices that you are thinking, I have invoiced you, you must pay me, and then they come, well, here's your invoice, now it's your turn to pay. So we have learned a lot in the last 12 months, regarding all of that, understanding how to deal with our recalls, returns, what it means, so we've learned a lot around just the business of retailing, which is a very complicated space to be in.
Very interesting views. Zakhele, let me bring you in an environment where just getting a job as a abled person, as a man, as a straight man is more easy, or even a straight woman, it's a little easier. What is the landscape looking like for people that you represent, particularly for them to get into the place of work and even to start their own businesses? How difficult or easy is it for Modern Centric Holdings to do its job?
Thank you so much for that question, Diabo. I'm going to take it back to persons with disability first before I take it to other communities, because you've mentioned, the communities that we are currently serving. Let's speak of persons with disability in South Africa. We all know that since the unemployment rate is really, really high, so you can imagine how many persons with disability are also infected in this unemployment. But when you look at corporates, in terms of how do they transition, into this place of inclusion? How do they include persons with disability in their transformation plans? Let's face it, as most people, they don't understand exactly how to basically bite this monster. So what we have done for corporate, we've basically developed a simple model that works for everybody. The first thing that we have done is to go to corporate and we do what we call a sensitization process. How do we sensitize? We come into corporate, we now say, corporate, you are about to do this recruitment drive of persons with disability into the workplace. But before we do so, let's first check if your building is accessible for persons with disability. What disabilities can you accommodate? What disabilities can you not accommodate? So once we have done that report, because it's very, very detailed, it goes to how is the ramp? Is the ramp there? Is the ramp there the first thing? Is the ramp steep? How is it? Looking at the lighting, how is the lighting? Is it too harsh? Is it too, there's a lot of things that goes into the accessibility audit. So once that has been done, we then move over to what we call the workshops. Now we are sensitizing, everybody within this corporate. My dream, Diabo, has always been to normalize disability. When you speak of disability, people still get comfortable. How would I do it? But disability needs to be normalized. And how do we do it? To go into corporate, we actually ask certain individuals to participate, where we will leave maybe a day before the workshop. We will leave left, so we'll leave in work. What do you call this? We will leave wheelchairs. We'll leave earplugs. We'll leave blindfolds. We'll also leave crutches, and then ask individuals to actually take part a day before the workshop, where now they get to understand how it's like to be on the other side of the table as well. And then we get to share with them, so guys, please just tell us, how was that experience? And it's amazing, Diabo, to hear the feedback, because now this is when you see that then there's been an impact. I was able to actually impact. I was able to create sensitization. People now understand that there is a certain community of individuals that is coming into this corporate, and this is how we need to treat them. Once we have done that, we then move to the employment side now, where we make sure that, okay, we get the spec from the client, and then we do the recruitment according to the report that guides us. The report is done, final things, the offer has been made. The most important thing now is moving to the support side. Support is very, very, very important, and that is where most corporate get it wrong. Now the support is I am going in now to Diabo's department with Diabo's team and say, Diabo, I need to sensitize you now of the person that is actually starting on the 1st of December or the following week. And then we invite you and your team. Then we tell you guys about the person that is joining, which is Zakhele. Zakhele has this nature of, Zakhele is actually bubbly by nature. He speaks, he's very expressive, he speaks by hands. But the most important thing is to speak about his disability. Zakhele has this nature of disability. He goes to the bathroom every 30 minutes. And when that thing happens, please do not be alarmed. It's just the nature of his disability that requires him to. So please, when it happens, it's business as normal. And we've noticed that with this model, Diabo, it works.
Being a Black-owned company, are you getting the contracts?
I'll be very, very honest with you. I've been so blessed in the space that I'm in, because I realized when I started Modern Centric that you can't just be working for nothing that is impactful. Do something that is impactful and corporate will see your work. And there is contracts, basically.
I'm glad, with you two here, I feel like I can have you guys for the whole day. And I know that in about 5 minutes or so, I have to wrap up.
Yes.
But I'm also interested, we spoke about competition. How are you keeping yourself, out there? Yes, you are in the shelf and there's many more that are coming up after you, but how are you staying relevant? Because chili is chili is chili, okay? And many more variants are coming up. For us who are scared of chili, there's things that are coming up as well, but how are you staying relevant? And I also want you to take this opportunity to guide someone that has just started their chili business about how to end up being a Chuck Chilli.
So I think that one of our strongest attributes as Chuck Chilli, the business, as well as Chuck Chilli, the product itself, is that yes, there are many other chilies, but our chilies has always been different and unique, not just in taste. Anybody who tastes chili or who buys different chilies, the taste of Chuck Chilli is unique on its own. But we have to make sure that we don't just retain the customers that we have, but we are always ensuring that we are attracting new customers, and hence we continue to do trade fairs. We continue to do markets, weekend markets, even though we are on the shelves, because our thing is, the trade market or your weekend markets are the best place, the most relaxed place for someone to taste the chilies, and then you get to tell them that if you live in this particular space, you don't have to worry about calling us. You can just go grab it from a store, and that gets them excited. So that's one of the things that we have seen that works for us, and how we attract new customers. But as well, if you look at our website and our social media pages, we are always trying to remind people about who Chuck Chilli is. I mean, we obviously can do better, but at least we have not stopped. We are not stagnant in that space. And we are looking forward to December, because we've got a whole bubbly, great, innovative thing that we're going to do with our intern, who's a young one. So I would say to anyone who wants to enter this business, and any other business that can seem easy from the beginning or from the outside, is that one, you have to understand exactly what you want to achieve with your business, with your chili business. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being comfortable with just selling your chilies to your immediate community, to not have to worry about things like compliance. But yeah, go for it and see what it is that you can achieve in that space.
Fantastic. Zakhele, I'm going to ask you a very difficult question about how you can guide someone that is disabled, that is transitioning, that is a woman, into establishing their own business and also being seen and taken seriously.
I'm glad that you asked me this question. I'm going to take it back to myself. I'm a very proud gay man, and I go to corporate and I do not hide who I am. But the only way I get respect from corporate is through the passion that I have for my product that I'm actually giving to corporate. And of course, also believing in myself. People can see it. Confidence sells. I need to give this to other entrepreneurs. You cannot go out there and sell a product that you are not confident in. It starts within you. Be confident in your product, but over and above anything else, have passion in your product. Back in 2018, when I started Modern Centric, I was literally in a back room. And I knew for sure that, this is actually not my life. I am not built for this. I'm built for something better. And I'm proud to say that 4 years later, I've grown tremendously because of one thing, two things, believing in myself and the passion. Whether I'm a person with disability, whether I belong to the LGBTQIA+ community, I am still human and I count to the economy of this country.